Hello everyone, welcome to Sunday JK. So this video is a continuation of last two session of GST MCQ. If someone haven't watched yet the first two episode, kindly watch the same before coming to this lecture. So let's start. Question number 21. Can a registered person opting for composition scheme collect tax on his outward supply? When it comes to composition scheme, if any person is opting for a composition scheme, he should not collect any GST on his supply. So that is the provision. So straight away the answer is no. We don't have to look into any provision because composition scheme taxpayers should not actually collect any GST on his outward supply. So the answer is straight no. Next question number 22. In case of goods transport agency service, tax is to be paid under forward charge if. So this provision is all about goods transportation agency. So we have to look into the provision in little detailed manner, and this is also an important provision because the same provision will be tested in scenario cases for 4 to 5 marks. So this is the chart that you have to remember when you are handling this kind of question. Okay. So first we have to check whether the GST is payable at a rate of 5% or 12% for the service. Okay. So first if it is payable under 5%, the tax is levied under as a 5% and he is a body corporate or other than, we have to check whether he is a body corporate or other than body corporate. If he is a body corporate, straight away it is a forward charge that will not cover under reverse charge. Okay. But if he is not a body corporate, we have to check who is a recipient. If recipient is also an other than body corporate, then it is covered under forward charge. It will not come under reverse charge. But if recipient is body corporate, so in short, GST has to be levied at a rate of 5% and the supplier should be a person other than a body corporate, but a recipient should be a body corporate. Then such transaction will be charged under reverse charge. In other cases, it is charged under forward charge. Okay. So in the given question, they have asked in which circumstances tax is to be paid under forward charge. Okay. So when GST is payable at a rate of 12%, yes. If it is 12%, straight away it is a forward charge. So that is the right answer. Other answer we don't have to read at all because we know the straight answer. If it is paid under 12%, we have to pay under reverse forward charge. Okay. So in only one circumstances we have to pay under reverse charge, which is nothing but the GST should be paid at a rate of 5% and the supplier should be a person other than the body corporate and the recipient should be a body corporate. Then in such circumstances the tax is charged under reverse charge. In all other cases it is taxed under forward charge. Next question. Which of the following services are not exempt from GST? So we have to look into the provisions from exception chapters, 4th chapter. Yoga camp conducted by a charitable trust registered under 12AA. So if under 12AA, if any activity is conducted, it is totally exempt. And service provided by business correspondent to a rural branch of a bank with respect to saving bank account. So service provided by business correspondent to rural bank is exempt. Service provided by cord blood bank, this will come under medical facility and it is totally exempt. Service provided by commentator to recognized body, to a recognized sports body, only a few persons, service provided by few persons are exempt. The list, I can show you the list. One second. Service provided to a recognized sports body by an individual as he should be a player or a referee, umpire, coach, team manager. So in this provision, commentator is not covered. So that is not exempt from GST. The answer is D. Next question. Which of the following activities is a supply of service? So this is all about from supply chapter. We'll have a list. There will be a schedule where we'll have a list. In that list we should find out whether which are all comes under supply of goods and which are all supply of services, right? So in that list it is covered. So we'll look into the provision. Transfer of right in goods or undivided share in goods without transfer of title in goods. There is no transfer of title in the goods, but they are transferring, sorry, without title is not transferred, only the right to use such goods. We can use the goods, but we cannot say that that is you are the owner of the goods. You cannot say that you are the owner of the goods. Okay, so in the given case they are asking which are all comes under supply of service. Okay, so in the given case it is a supply of service because they are transferring only the right to use. They are not transferring the goods at all. Okay, so it is a supply of service. So this supply of service. Next case, transfer of title in goods, which means they are transferring the goods itself. I am having a bike. I am transferring the bike to you. Okay, so in the given, I am transferring the title itself. Whatever whatever the expense, whatever the income you are deriving from that bike, it is all yours. I am transferring the title. I am no more a owner. I am transferring the title to goods. So in this case, it is a supply of goods. In next situation, transfer of title in goods under an agreement which stipulates that the property shall pass at the future date upon payment of full consideration. So in the same case, I am transferring the bike to you when the consideration is 50,000, but you are paying 20,000. When you pay the remaining 30,000, I will transfer you the RC book and all. Okay, so in short, I am transferring the goods only when you pay the entire amount, but at the end I am transferring my goods. I am transferring my title. So it is a supply of goods. So on first one alone, supply of service, the answer is A. Next question. Rama Limited has provided the following information for the month of September. We have to calculate aggregate turnover. In the last episode itself, we have discussed the definition of aggregate turnover. Aggregate turnover includes everything except RCM transaction, which is covered under reverse charge, central tax, then state tax, union tax. Only these four will not be covered under aggregate turnover. The remaining things we have to will be coming under aggregate turnover. So in the given case, intrastate 8 lakh, this will come under aggregate turnover. We have to add it. Exempt outward supply, we have to add. Turnover of exported service, this also we have to include. Payment made for availing GTA service. Goods transportation, whatever the GTA services will be covered under reverse charge. So this will not be included. So 10 lakh plus 5 lakh plus 8 lakh, 23 lakh. So the answer is option C. Okay, next question. T Limited has its registered office under Companies Act 2013 in a state of Maharashtra. He has an office in Maharashtra state, from which he carries on all the business. It has a warehouse in the state of Telangana for storing said goods. As per Companies Act, here they are discussing about two laws. One is Companies Act, another one is GST Act. Okay, so as per Companies Act, they are saying that P has its registered office at the state of Maharashtra. So as per Companies Act, we can have one principal place of business, other assets branch, other states asset branch. But whereas in case of GST, we should take registration on state wise, right? So in the given case, there are two states, Telangana and Maharashtra. So as per GST law, we can call both the state as place of business. So the answer is both A and B. Next question. Exempt supply include. Exempt supply means supply which are not taxable or supply which attracts nil rate, and yes. So in the given case, what are the options? Nil rate, yes, this is also an exempt service. Non-taxable supply is also an exempt service. And the third option is supply of goods or services or both, which are wholly exempt. In the question itself, they have given it is totally exempt from tax. So this will also comes under exempt service. The option is 1, 2 and 3. Next, which of the following services are exempt from GST? So in the given case, they have we have to check the provision relating to an artist who is performing the art form of folk classical. So in that exemption chapter, it will be covered. Let me show you the provision. Yes, classical or folk artist by an artist in folk or classical art in form of music, dance, theatre, if consideration is charged less than 1,50,000. So the conditions are that the consideration should be less than 1,50,000. and the form of dance should be in the form of music, dance or theatre. That too it should be a classical or folk. And the last condition is he or she should not be a brand ambassador for such whatever that product. Okay, so in the given case they are not talking about brand ambassador, so we can leave that as of now. So first of all, the consideration should be less than 1,50,000. In all the cases they have given not exceeding 1,50,000. Okay, the second condition is the whatever the performance should be in the form of folk or classical. So in the first situation they have given painting, sculpture and all, that is not covered in the exemption list. In the second situation they have given modern art, that is also not covered. In the third situation they have given folk, classical, but the consideration is exceeding 1,50,000. So this is also a wrong answer. In the fourth situation they have given folk or classical and the consideration is not exceeding 1.5 lakh. So this is the right answer. So next question, service by way of admission to dash is not exempt from GST. So this is also covered under exemption list. Here it is in the same list. Service by way of admission to museum, national park, wildlife sanctuary, tiger reserve or zoo is exempt. And in other cases where the consideration should be less than 500 per person. So in the given case, what are the option? Museum is exempt, we have seen. National park is exempt, tiger reserve is exempt, recognized sports event, and the cost is 600 per person. Actually only unrecognized person sports event will be covered in the exemption list. All the recognized sports event are taxable. So therefore this is not exempt. The answer is D. Next question, discount given after the supply has been effected is deducted from the value of taxable supply if. So we have to look into the value of supply topic. So in value of supply there will be three conditions. Yes, here it is. See, treatment of discount. So discount may be given at three stages. One is during the time of sale, before the time of sale, after the time of sale. Now we are discussing about discount given after the sale. Okay, so there should be three conditions. It should satisfy three conditions. Only then it will be not taxable. If any one of the condition is not satisfied, such a discount will be taxable. Okay, so first, agreement should exist at the time of supply. Second point, it can be linked to invoice. Such discount should be linked to invoice, and ITC should be reversed by the recipient. ITC will be availed, no, that should be reversed. So the option is there should be an agreement. So this is right answer. It should be linked to the relevant invoice. This is also right answer. Proportionate input tax credit is reversed by the recipient. So this is also right answer. So the option is 1, 2 and 3. So far we have discussed 30 questions. If you have any doubt, you can text me to this number 9025869222. Okay. So thank you. Share this video if you find it useful. Support Sun Educate. Thank you guys.